Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast.
Welcome to SFH Presents One More Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Polk, here with my co-host, Ty Southern.
Hey.
Today we have with us Earl Granville. Not Earl Granville.
Well,
Let's say Kentucky, all right?
None of that.
yeah, Louisville.
Just a reminder, we are not medical professionals. We're just a couple of dudes talking to real people about real shit, hoping that you guys get something out of it.
Fingers crossed.
We always start with one big question to kick this thing off, Earl. What does still fucking here mean to you?
What does still fucking here mean to me? It means to make the most of it.
All right. Hoo-wah.
All right. So dig in a little bit.
Well, a little bit about my background. I always get shit for this, but look, man. Yeah, I was in the military.
Hoo-wah.
I joined for college. That was it. My twin brother talked me into joining, and I had no desire to serve. But hey, free education sounded good because, why not? What am I getting out of this? Let's make this about me. What can I get, right? Mm-hmm. And then Joe and I, my twin brother Joe, we landed in Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training. We're being infantrymen in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. And the date we got there was September 1st, 2001.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I remember when those towers got hit, I looked at Joe and I said, what the fuck you get me into, dude? Like, I didn't join the military. I didn't join to go to war, man. I just wanted free schooling, right?
Guess what?
Hey, that was no longer, man, you know. Mm-mm. We graduated basic, and being that we're guardsmen, we came back to Pennsylvania, and we were home for about 3 weeks. We got orders for Bosnia, which makes me sound old, right? I think we're like the third last rotation over there in Bosnia. The time we got boots on the ground, I was 19, and first time leaving the country. It was pretty cool, actually. Like that part of it, beautiful, beautiful country. But I didn't see many mass grave sites. If you don't, let me back up for a second. I didn't even understand why we're in Bosnia to begin with, to be honest, because I was a dumb kid at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So I read a book called Love Thy Neighbor. The author's Peter Maas, and it describes a lot of what was happening in this part of Eastern Europe in history, and big civil war happening. And if you don't like reading, there's a movie called In the Land of Blood and Honey. Mm-hmm. It's very graphic, man. The movie, the book,
the war,
all the killing that's happening over there. But like just the torture, I think that really nothing I experienced when I was in the Army. But like what these people were doing to each other, it's unbelievable. The raping, the pillaging, the killing, tying a rope on, a village elder's arms, one on each arm, and just have vehicles just drive, like, what I mean? Shit like that. Just horrible, horrible stuff. But, 3 years of that happening in 92 and 95, NATO said, enough, we got to get this shit in order because they're not getting it in order. So that's when NATO forces stepped in. But the time I got there, my unit, the 109th Infantry in 2002, all the fighting stopped. It's peacekeeping. The biggest threat to us is don't drive off the road. You'll hit a fucking landmine, right? Yeah. So, nice, easy tour, man. It was good. Nobody got hurt. It was pretty cool, though. Like, I'd go back there in a heartbeat just to see beautiful how that area is. And, I came back from that, and I enrolled into college, started getting that education. The whole reason I joined the military to begin with. Got 2 semesters in at Lackawanna College, small little school, when we got orders for Iraq, but it was a volunteer mission. The way how the Guard Reserve worked at the time, you didn't have to deploy on another deployment. You had to be home for a certain amount of time. I can't remember the regs of it.
They tried to make sure the turnaround wasn't so quick to try to give people, so they didn't drive everyone crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you're juggling both civilian and military, but, I volunteered for that because my brother was, and a lot of guys I served with in Bosnia, I mean, the Guard mentality, man. A lot of these guys, like I went to high school with, a lot of people know each other they work together, the older guys, in their civilian jobs. So it's, I was never active duty, but like, I guess, hey, this is life now, man, with these 2 wars happening. And you know, I literally just went to Iraq because Joe was going, a lot of my friends were going, and I'm like, you know, man, I can't watch these guys go off and me at home partying at college, right?
Mm-mm.
And I got to tell you something, man, it was the best decision I ever made. Like, what do I mean by that? You know, I joined the military for me. What can I get out of this? Hey, free schooling, right? But going to Iraq, becoming an NCO, and I saw the big picture wearing the uniform. It ain't about me. It ain't about us. It's not about me. It's about us being a part of something bigger than ourselves. And the relationships I built with my soldiers over there and just my unit in general, man, I love that deployment. You know, it really turned my life around. We were part of what's the 2nd Brigade Combat Team in the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. My battalion was 109th Infantry. But the unit, a majority of the unit, 2nd Brigade, was not where we were. My company, we got sent to Al Assad, Iraq, run by a bunch of Marines. But the majority of the 2nd Brigade Combat Team were in Ramadi. And you guys know history, man, is 0506. Heavy times over there, dude, man. Like, you know, and for my unit, my platoon, we had one Purple Heart recipient. My buddy Gary Sienko hit a roadside bomb, ruptured his eardrum. He was in the gunner's hatch. He got a Purple Heart from that. My buddies in Ramadi in the 109th, that the rest of my battalion that's in the brigade that were there, you know, we lost 7 guys. And for a guard unit, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Staff Sergeant Ryan Ostrom, Williamsport, Specialist Billy Evans of Montrose, Pennsylvania. And it's like Staff Sergeant George Puglisi, Carbondale, Staff Sergeant Ryan Ostrom of Susquehanna County, Sergeant Eric Slobodnik of Greenfield Township. There's a park named after him about 5 miles off the road from where I'm at now. Specialist Lee Wiegand in Susquehanna County, and PFC Oliver Brown, right outside of Bradford County. And, you know, I like to say their names because, man, let me tell you, dude, I'm like, it's what this did to the 109th, right? Obviously, it's pretty damn heavy. You know, oh, you're just guard, you're filling up sandbags when a natural disaster happens back in the homeland. Well, obviously, that's not happening anymore. You know, this is our unit's first combat deployment since the Korean War. Yeah. So, like, this is like heavy shit, right? Mm-hmm. So, I ended up taking my 2-week leave. Like everybody got, you guys get that Marine Corps, right? Like you get like a 2-week block leave, you get to leave or go wherever you want, some shit like that.
Y'all, we don't stay as long as y'all do. You do the full year. We're only there for 7 months. So we don't have a R&R in the middle of the deployment like y'all do.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, the Army they go home for 2 weeks in the middle of a deployment to get a break from it all because they're there for an entire year.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. To this day, I'm still learning the branches. But I got to tell you, man, working with you guys in Iraq, the Marine Corps, I commanded a 7-ton for a while. You guys are you're just flat out fun. That's all I can say about it, man. You guys are just great to be around, man. You know, the shit is a fan, stuff like that.
That is a sparkling recommendation.
Just flat out fun. I don't know what else to say about it, man. I remember, so where they housed us in Al Assad, it was a new area that they built just for us being there. And we're in, the metal cans, they call it, like the connexes.
Yeah.
And they called it Camp Gettysburg because we're Pennsylvania Guard. And some of the Marines just moved in there right before we got there. And I'm no shit. We're just getting to Camp Gettysburg and walking right out of one of those cans is a Marine holding a blow-up doll. And you just got to fucking laugh. Like, well, welcome to Iraq, gentlemen, right?
Like, yeah, this is Susie.
But when I took
Susie.
Yeah. I think 8 months over there, like we all wanted to touch Susie, all right?
Yuck. I need to get into all that. Cellulitis on the ding dong.
So back to like when I went home on leave, right?
Yeah.
It was probably 6 weeks after the last incident. Yeah, I have to add, out of those 7 names I mentioned, 5 of them were one incident. roadside bomb in Ramadi. Hit the Bradley they were in, Bradley fighting vehicle, one of those big vehicles, but it was full of white phosphorus, so the whole thing melted.
Wow.
Like, it was pretty bad. So I came back to Pennsylvania in November. That last incident was September 28th of 2005. So it's like probably about 5-6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And coming back to Scranton, just seeing flags still half mast. God bless the 109th on businesses. Oof. You kind of realize this, one death, obviously, from anybody from anywhere, active duty, guard, reserve, whatever it may be, it's devastating for the community. But for 7 up here in northeastern Pennsylvania, it was pretty damn heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing all this shit, like how much, I guess you could say the pride in, here in northeastern Pennsylvania, and, they're all grieving as well. It just made me want to do this job even more. So when I ended up going back to Iraq after leave, Joe and I, we both re-upped our contracts, and yeah, man, this was it. I was in it for the long haul at that point. And when I came home, I got 2 more semesters in Lackawanna College. I got my associate's degree, hit this fork in the road. Like, all right, do I start going for my undergrad? What do I do now? All of a sudden we got another warning order, Afghanistan, another volunteer mission. At this point, we'd be going with a whole different battalion called the 103rd Armor. And we'd be going to Afghanistan, part of which called the Provincial Reconstruction Team. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. They're PRTs, we call them. So like what the PRT's job is, each province in Afghanistan had a PRT. And the PRT's mission was working with local government and village elders, helping rebuild parts of Afghanistan and make it easier. Like a lot of things we did there was we tried to dig up wells for these small villages so they had clean drinking water, so they don't have to travel far just to get clean water. Renovating hospitals, building schools, because the Taliban didn't like women getting an education, so at night they would shoot up the schools, shit like that. My job, my platoon's job, which was made up of all these different mix of combat arms, we were what's called the Sec 4, which stood for Security Force, for the core PRT, which is made up of civil affairs officers. We had we even had like U.S. civilians that were engineers that were with us. Like, very unique mission, and we worked like all different branches are together and stuff like that. So mainly my PRT, which was PRT Gardez of the Paktia Providence, we worked a lot with the Air Force, right? So it just, I've never seen the military structured like this, but it seemed like a well-oiled machine as running like this. And we had a mission about 3 months into it, a little village called Zormont, and I was escorting a civil affairs officer. His name is Major Scott Haggerty. He was our civil affairs guy that day, and he wanted to be in charge of the vehicle I was commanding. And it's just what he did all the time. Like, hey, you want to be in charge, Major Haggerty? By all means, dude. Tell you what, I'm going to jump on that gunner's hatch, and I'm going to give my buddy Craig Rains, who was gunning that day, I'm going to give him the time off, right? Or I put him as a passenger in another vehicle, not time off, but he could just relax in the vehicle, whatever. So
dismount.
Yep. Yeah.
You always want to be a dismount.
I'd rather be on the ground than in a vehicle. I always felt that was better.
Shit. I mean, if we're going 58 hours, I'd rather be in the truck and I'd rather be driving it. But
well, fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, get me the fuck out of the truck if we can do it.
Yeah, that running around, it seemed more comfortable to me instead of just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
But so this was our first time traveling to Zormont with MRAPs. Everything we had was up armor and Humvees, and a few months into this deployment, we finally got MRAPs. So we only had 2 of them, so we would be very specific where we take them, right? Because one part of the PRT would go here one day, and at that same time, there would be another mission with the same PRT somewhere else. So where those MRAPs we felt were would be more useful, maybe in dangerous situations, or or maybe we're going to a place where they could possibly roll over. We want to take them there, stuff like that. But at Zormont it was always a little heavier area where it comes to dangerous situations. We decided to finally take them there this round. Unfortunately, one of the roads we took getting to our objective is a very narrow road. And so we had to crawl through this road with these MRAPs, and we could see in the distance we're being watched. We don't know who it is, but just an observation. Luckily, we make it to our objective, and we do what we have to do there. And we decided to pull out our Blue Force trackers, our electronic maps in the vehicles, and just to find a different route, right? And we all, leadership, we agree on a route. It's a much longer road, but just by looking at the map, we could tell it's much more flat. So, we're not in those vulnerable positions. And this road we took, I grew up in Pennsylvania, right? So nice green summers, right? And a lot of parts in Iraq and Afghanistan, it's, desert. Afghanistan, it's mountainous climate, right? But this road we're taking, it's the first time I'm seeing like green vegetation. And I'm in that gunner's hatch talking to everybody in the Humvee. And I'm like, dude, look at this. It's fucking beautiful here, man. We need to patrol out here more often, right? The next thing I remember, I see nothing but black. And, when your head is underwater, it's like it's a faint noise you're hearing at the time. That's the best way. It's the best way to describe what I was hearing at that moment.
Are you trying to talk Vietnamese?
No,
I didn't want to say it, but that's
no Charlie Brown's teacher. It ends up sounding like nothing. It sounds like whenever something's
You
trying
literally
to
sound like you're ordering Vietnamese food over the phone right now.
Well, that was racist. I was just doing what he was doing out loud. Because I know what he's talking about.
That was kind of going through my head. I wasn't going to say it. Glad you did, Zach.
Wah.
Well,
my bad. I'll stop talking.
After hearing Charlie Brown stuff, right? No, I love it, dude. Keep it going, man.
That's hilarious.
Racist.
So I feel this momentum, and in my mind, it's I'm saying to myself, just what the hell is going on right now? And I came to, I opened my eyes, big, beautiful sky. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon, like I'm trying to get my bearing. Why am I on the ground? Holy shit, my feet are backwards. To the left of me is a Humvee, completely ripped to shreds. We just hit a roadside bomb. All I tried to do was assess the situation. I tried to stand up. That shit wasn't happening. I heard my buddy Joe Voda yell, "Get him in a body bag." Like, okay, people are killed. It's us and them. I'm not hearing rounds going off. What exactly is happening? My medic gets to me, U.S. Air Force Tech Sergeant Eric Jones. Call him Doc Jones. By the way, I don't know if Marine Corps, you guys call your corpsman, you call him Doc, right?
Yeah.
We call them, all our medics over there were Air Force. We call him Doc, and they didn't understand why. Like, it's like Doc, doctor,
what
right?
The fuck else are you supposed to call him? Like,
and like, come on, guys! Like, you guys don't get
title,
this, right?
Bitch. What you are.
So Doc Jones starts working on me, gets the bleeding under control. How's everybody else doing? They're doing fine. They're doing good. Doc and a few of my buddies, they put me on a litter and they carried me behind one of the MRAPs. And when they transferred me over, they walked me right past two body bags. It was the remains of a specialist, Derek Holland, of Wingate, Pennsylvania, who was driving the vehicle that day, and Major Scott Haggerty of Stillwater, Oklahoma, the gentleman who took my seat, which is why I'm still here. So
wow.
So no complaints, dude. Man. Got lucky. That's all I can say about it.
Who?
Yeah, and then my buddy's calling the 9 line. I hear the Black Hawk coming in. Chopper lands. They put me on the Black Hawk. And before it takes off, 2 other individuals get on as well. Something I didn't mention, but in the backseat of our Humvee, like I said, we work with local government, and we had a village elder in the backseat of our Humvee. And They laid him next to me. And the other individual to get on is we had 4 Afghan police officers, our police trucks with us that day. And one of their own got on as well. He wasn't wounded, but he was there to continue to escort the governor wherever this Black Hawk's taking us. And look, my mind is just racing at this point, right? I'm 24 years old. Like, I'm young and healthy. I'm just, what the hell's I gonna do with my life now, right? And laying next to me is this Afghan governor. My guess is he's in his 50s. And look, man, the way I saw it is I took my right hand and I squeezed his left, and I was like, "Dear God, I'm a man of faith, Allah, whatever his faith is, just get us out of here alive," right? And mind's racing. What the fuck am I going to do with my life now? I kept wanting to like sit up and kind of see what my legs look like, all that shit, right? And
start poking that shit.
Yeah, it looked pretty beat up.
What is that?
Eventually, somebody I'm sitting up just a little bit, like my neck's up, and a hand pushes my head back, and I look up to see it. I'm thinking it's the door gunner to the Black Hawk, right? And it's I look up, it's that Afghan police officer, and he's like kind of motioning me to relax.
Yeah,
right, Black Hawk lands in Bagram, takes us into the hospital. They start assessing our wounds, X-rays, all that shit, and doctors come into my room and say, "We're gonna have to do surgery on your right hip immediately." It's like, "Hey, all right, fine, let's do it." But right before I went into surgery, once again, that Afghan police officer came into my room. And he walked up to the edge of my bed, standing straight, big smile on his face, put his hand over his heart, and he started talking, and he didn't even fucking speak English. But, we all know body language, right?
Yeah.
And look, man, I say that is, you guys served, right? You're familiar with blue on green.
I did.
I did not.
Yeah,
You didn't
Zach
serve,
did not
Zach?
serve.
No.
No.
Oh,
But
I hear
yes,
you. Zach, my apologies. I heard you flexing earlier with the Marine Corps. I thought you were a Marine. My apologies.
Oh, no. No, I serve in this podcast with a Marine. So
Well, yeah, and depending on who the guest is, he knows.
my
what's up.
roommate's a Marine. I have a lot of family that served, but they were all Army, I believe.
Okay.
Pussies.
Come on now. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, Mr.
He's got.
I'm still trying to get to the answer of where the fuck you guys were at Normandy. All right, the biggest water amphibious bullshit ever in our United States military history, and you guys were playing in Japan somewhere. Like, what the fuck, man? Isn't this your job?
Do you want to explain to the French why they don't speak German both the first and the second time? Because Bella would and. Okay, we didn't need to be in Normandy, bro. Y'all had Normandy well in hand. We did the rest of it.
Oh, shit. So anybody out there, if you're unfamiliar with the term blue on green, what that is when you're working with, like, I'd imagine it was created from conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. You're working with their local police force or military, whatever it may be, and one all of a sudden just starts going rogue and shooting coalition forces, right? And they call it blue on green. And that could build a stigma. I've never experienced it in the military. Like, I'd never, on none of my deployments. But obviously, you get a little bit of a stigma when you're working with these guys. Don't trust them. Be cautious. So I'm saying that for this gentleman who walked at the edge of my bed and greeted himself like the way he did, man, like, kind of opened my eyes a little bit. Like, look, man, they're not all bad. There's shitheads everywhere.
Exactly.
There's good cops, there's bad cops. There's good soldiers, there's bad soldiers. There's good Marines, and then there's really shithead Marines. There you go.
It's good Marines, then there's me.
Dude, who was on a few weeks ago that was saying that the Iraqi army, their commanders said, "Don't shoot the Marine commanders." Because
that was the standing order, was because every other military branch, they shooting the leaders would make the underlings go crazy and not know what to do. But with the Marines, they found out that they were what held us back. So if you kill the lieutenant, we're just coming for you, and no one's stopping us. So they were like, not the ones with the white sleeves. No. Shoot everyone else, it's fine, but not the lieutenant. They'll go crazy. They get so mad when you do that.
That's hilarious.
It'd be worse if you hit Doc for sure, but it's a bad day either way.
Hey, man, that's your best friend out there.
Yeah. I was my corpsman's first combat incident. Come on.
Talk about a big one, all right?
Right? Trial by
Well,
fire.
you're here, so we passed the test, all right?
Yeah, I'm the first American triple to survive Afghanistan.
No shit, I didn't know that.
He's got a weird... Yeah, he's got a weird accolade on his record now. He's responsible for all that shit. But before me, he kept the pig alive for 26 hours. And then I fell in his lap one day. And for him to tell it, he was like, the first thing I remember, I was battening down the hatches on the 4th tourniquet. And I was like, if your muscle memory kicked in and number 4, cool. I already got, cool. Those are all secure. Sweet. Now what to do?
Yeah, and your hand, obviously you see right there, you're almost a quad. I mean,
on paper I am, because it's limb salvage from the elbow down, but yeah, to the elbow, right above the knee, both sides, and then old Wonky McGee is left.
Dude, I remember you at Walter Reed back in the day.
I was a problem for all of them too. I was saying I'm not the one dragging the brick around, but like I also got dragged around by wheelchairs. I also was the guy dragging other dudes in wheelchairs. Everyone who had a manual chair would get on the back of mine like a train.
Skitching, baby.
It was awesome. I was like, come on. I was like, I got juice. I'm not doing anything today but going to therapy and coming back from therapy. Hang on if you got
Dude, wasn't that an old Nintendo game, Skitchin'?
Yep. It was Sega Genesis, actually.
Sega Genesis, that's right.
I love that fucking game.
The fucking game was awesome, dude.
You just showed the gray in your beard, sir.
Dude, Zach, I mean, it's weird, man. Every time something it's like Skitching, no one knows what the hell I'm talking about. The fact that you just said it made me so happy right now. You know,
I haven't heard that word since then. I don't think, man, because I played the game, so I thought it was cool, and I would bring it up to my friends, like it'd be cool to talk about Skitching, and like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I'm like, all these years I've carried this stress about the fact that I thought this was a cool fucking word, man. And then you bring it up, you just drop it like it's fucking hot, dude.
Going back to old school Genesis days in the 90s, man.
This is a point of validation for young Zachary. Like,
it is.
Take a moment.
It is. You just validated my inner child is as comfortable as he's been in like years, dude.
Hell yeah, man.
He's like, you were pretty cool, dude. Oh, I was wrong about you.
Talking inner child, I got and video games. I got a game stick off of the Amazon. That's got a bunch of preloaded games. You just put it in the one of the USB ports on the back of the TV, and it comes with controllers. I'm sitting here playing Game Boy Pokemon on a 70-inch television, and I'm just like I just making my decisions and catching things and listening to the tune that I heard my whole fucking life. Just like, dude, I'm high, getting in touch with my inner child.
I thought of you at trivia the other night when I was hosting, and the last question of the night was what video game franchise has made the most money all time?
Pokemon by a lot.
But you know how many people tried to go toe to toe with me that it was Nintendo or that it was Mario Brothers and that it was Call of Duty and all this other shit. I'm like, nah, dude, it's Pokemon.
Dude, nowhere near.
Yeah, I would have guessed Mario.
Yeah. I think Mario's like up there. I think Pokemon and Mario are pretty.
Yeah, those would be the contenders, but not Call of Duty.
Big time. Nah, that's too. I think that's too new, you know.
Zelda could limp in probably 5th place or something like that. Probably. I said link. You see what I did, right? Yeah.
Zelda could link into this conversation.
No pun intended.
I didn't actually mean to do that. Hey. I hear that randomly through my life, and I don't know why that. All 80 of my HDs go off sometimes, and I'll randomly get Navi doing the hey, in the background of my head, and I'm like, oh God, what tab is open? Like, I need this to stop so bad. And then if you're high enough, you start thinking something's like, it's a sign. You got to pay more attention.
Luckily, you have correlation doesn't equal causation. Otherwise, you'd be thinking all kinds of shit was connected.
No, and my brain doesn't work good enough to put all the stuff together usually, which is awesome because my imagination's good, but I can't like put things together in a scary fashion because I wouldn't be able to make it make enough sense to make it real enough to scare me because I'm dumb.
I'm just a little old Marine.
What's left of one?
That's crazy.
But yeah, so this dude drags bricks around with his peg leg and motivates the masses.
Yes, I do. I got it right here, actually.
You just got the brick with you?
You know, I had a meeting today. I'm speaking at University of Wyoming in a few weeks, and I'm speaking with their command or their guys who are hiring me in. So it's something like this, but they just said what I'm going to discuss and everything like that. So it's right here. So I show it to them, the visualization of this, what this is. Right there. Her name is Cindy, all right? Cindy the cinder block, man. You know what, though? I'll tell you what. I got to get back to that later. But for now...
I fucked worse.
Yo, that's the second time in a half hour that boning inanimate objects has come up. Look at us. That's probably a new record.
We're nothing if not consistent.
Sorry, you'll get back into Cindy later, but
But you know what? Last thing I said is I went under for surgery on my hip.
Yes.
I woke up in Germany. Docs
Sorry.
are telling me they're going to have to amputate my left leg and they're going to salvage my right. And the first thing I asked them, and you know what, man? Let me ask you something, Tyler. Maybe you could relate to this. I asked the doctors, I was like, dude, can I keep my leg? Like,
have it.
Cut it off and take it with me. And they said no.
Rude
and it
ass.
Turned into a little argument.
mine.
I'm like, right, exactly.
What are you going to do with it? You're going to throw it away. I'm going to turn it into a leg lamp, and it's going to be a conversation piece for the rest of my goddamn life.
I'm thinking, like, this guy this doctor's going to bring it home and let his fucking dog chew on it. And,
and if that was the case, I'm letting my dog chew on it. Fuck you, it's mine.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
My mom made it, and it's mine.
Here's the fucking crazy thing. I'm not sure if there's any object that's not attached to you currently that you own any more than a limb that used to be attached to you.
Exactly.
You own that more than you own anything.
Yeah, we got the same cells, man.
The fuck?
Blood type.
That's still me. That's me.
If you left it at a crime scene, they'd come get me.
You know, let me chop a toe off and I'll put it in my pocket. Give me something, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, I'm fortunate. I got my flak and Kevlar back, which was so cool. It's still got blood on it.
That's actually, it's pretty awesome.
You can tell it was directly underneath me because there's nothing wrong with the Kevlar or from like here up on the flak. Like it was just bleh. It flayed out the damn bottom of it. And I was flung. But anyway, sorry. Hip
Looked
surgery.
like
you're
a
good,
cigarette.
man. You're
That
good,
you put a
man.
load in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's really interesting? You say that my supply, like, remember, I'm guard now, right? So
Yeah.
I live 4 hours from Walter, like where my home is 4 hours from Walter Reed. So like I go home quite a bit. I just drive right home.
Yeah, it's not a shitty drive.
My unit, I'm keep tabs with them, go drinking with them and shit like that when I come back. And my supply guy was like, "Is anything you have? Can you turn it in?" And I'm like, "Not much, right?" So I went up there and he's like talking about these ESS goggles that were issued, right? And I'm like, I want you to think where the fuck those were. All right, let's just like put our thinking cap on for a second. Where the fuck do you think those goggles are? They're probably in the dirt somewhere in Afghanistan because I got blown off. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
we need your boots, Southern. Shut the fuck up. I needed
I need my
boots.
legs, motherfucker.
Fuck, if you find the boots, get me the feet. Fuck you. Dude, and everyone who ever got out of the military on their own hate me because I had never had to deal with Civ. All my shit was put in a box and handed to them, and they just had to fucking deal with it.
You know what, man? I gotta
they
tell
gave
you,
me my flak and Kevlar back.
the guys I was with in Afghanistan, it wasn't my organic unit. So I got a hold of my first sergeant in Afghanistan. I'm sorry, my platoon sergeant. And he ended up taking care of all that shit for me. Like, at that point, they were already back to Afghanistan. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, you guys are focused on silly shit.
Well, so CIF, for everyone listening, CIF, I don't even remember. Do you know what's it stand for? It's just where we get all the supply shit. It's where they give us our bag and our sleeping system and all the stuff. And you eventually, when you're done serving in that unit or whatever, you have to give it back. And they require you to clean it to like as if it's brand new than when you got it. And like if something's wrong, you paying for it, all kinds of stuff. And it's silly always shit, a huge hassle. And yeah, so I got to skirt that whole thing. I got blown up and lost the arm.
Central issue facility.
Boom, thank you. So it's the building itself, not even.
I think that CIF is a Marine thing. We would just always call it supply in the Army.
Making sense.
Because when you were saying CIF, I'm like, okay, that's got to be your guys' supply. So
okay, my bad. It is. Supply works there. So there we go. Yeah. So I didn't realize it was the building itself. But yeah, they're real dicks about it. Just like the armory. There's a little bit of carbon on that, and I was like, well, mine, the buttstock was all fucked, and so was the barrel. So, like, again,
sorry,
you handle that. It was cool though. My rifle got to sit in the COC and like be a reminder for everyone to focus, and I thought that was cool. I like
that's actually pretty cool.
I love that a lot. They left my fucked up rifle just right there in the COC for the rest of the deployment, I'm told. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I hope
that's badass.
Like, hell yeah. Focus up, everybody. Let's stay focused. Sorry. Getting hyped up.
No, you're good, dude. I like it. So Germany, they amputated my leg. Where was it? Launch tool.
Yeah.
Was that what's it called? Yeah, launch tool. They amputated my leg. And then I was there for 5 days, and I went to Walter Reed, and that was my home for a while. That's where I met you, Tyler. Or I think we barely even talked there, but I remember you.
Yeah, ditto.
At MATC, physical therapy, occupational therapy. I had my PT was Kyla.
Yeah.
I don't remember her. And then my OT was Oren downstairs.
Mm-hmm. I had Joe Butkus was my OT, and Julie Castles.
Oh, nice.
Was my PT.
I remember Julie.
Yeah.
Good times, man.
All around.
Walter Reed, man. I don't know, man. Maybe you could relate. It sounds like a somber place. I got there summer of 2008. So you can imagine, like, both these wars are pretty ramped up. Like, the year prior is when Bush did that whole push through Iraq. So there's tons and tons of, injuries all around of all branches. Like, and all the amputees were in one area, the MATC. And so you think, I always think, you're going to go down that hallway and there's just the windows there, Tyler.
Yeah.
And I always like monkeys at the zoo, man. That's all it was. All the big wig politicians who walk down, look through the windows, and like, come on in, dude. Like, we're not gonna fucking bite. Right?
No. So, all right. So, I was in the team or whatever. I was part of the group that was part of the changeover to be at Bethesda at Walter Reed. But we were there for the last full year of old Walter Reed's operation. And yeah, the one you had to go through the skinny ass hallway, like where if you're in the wheelchair, you had to it's literally a 1-lane bridge. Like,
man, you're playing chicken with people,
Yeah. And you get all the way. Yeah. Like you said, why the hell wasn't there a door on the other end? The MATC, you had to walk all the way past it's the Military Advanced Training Center. I know that one. It's the gym where we do all of our therapy. So it's got the track that goes all the way around with like a Pinocchio string and harnesses for people learning how to walk on their sticks. Mats everywhere, all kinds of different guys in every different level of broke. And they make anyone who goes there has to walk all the way the fuck to the other end of it, and that's where the door is. but the whole way they're just big ass windows. Yeah, like so. And Howard would always bring famous people around who were excited to meet broken people and get pictures. And you'd figure out who was there for the right reasons pretty quickly, which was cool. Right. But yeah, there were so many times it was just suits standing out there. Like, and I'm just like, oh shit, do a trick. They're watching. Like, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Like,
monkeys at the zoo, man.
Should do some real monkey shit and just whiz some butt chocolate at him or something.
Start. If anyone had a colostomy bag,
hey, give me that.
My business. Yeah, let me have that for a second.
But man, I gotta tell you, man, I thought how simple Walter Reed was. You wake up, you go to PT, you go to OT, whatever other appointments you had, like, and
then go mentally decompress until you did it tomorrow.
Well, I played hockey when I was there, and that's what I look forward to every week, getting on that ice, like sled hockey. I don't know if you're familiar with the disabled version of ice hockey to our listeners out there. It's just watch the Paralympics. The USA were back-to-back gold medal. There's never been a back-to-back, but we're 4 back-to-back. I got invited to the tryout for the Paralympic team shortly after, and I feel like a stud, man. This is awesome, man. And 20 seconds of being on that ice at Paralympic training camp, I was like, there's no fucking way of making this team. Like real athletes. And I'm talking about real fucking athletes. Like Paul Schaus, I don't even remember him. Good buddy of mine. Yeah, man. Good buddy of mine. Guy. I watched him. I had a conference in Virginia Beach that I was at during the 2014 Olympics, and it was in Korea, and it was middle of the day. I went to a bar just to see if the game was on. It was for the gold medal in the Paralympics, and it was USA. I want to say it was versus Russia, playing for the gold medal. And I got there, and as soon as I sat at the bar, the game came on. It looked like I sat down when a commercial was on, and the game came back on. And there's number 28 Schaus. I'm like, fucking Paul Schaus, man. Like, I just freaked out. I was like, who the fuck's that? It's like, I fucking know him, man.
Yeah.
And then
left of a buddy of mine.
So Paul's a double. He was a Marine as well. Lost both his legs. From he's both his legs are pretty high.
Yeah, and he did. He was the first person I saw do it. I imagine many legless people have, but he would do the Superman push-ups where his back and legs would be straight with the deck, and he still doing them, just arms. And Superman push-ups was what we ended up calling them. But yeah, I remember Paul was the one doing them every time we went in there. I was like, God damn, if I had 2 arms, man.
Dude's a stud, man. Dude's a stud.
Yeah, he's an amazing dude.
But
it's always the quiet ones, man.
Yeah, and that's exactly Paul too. But
Howell.
I don't think I knew him.
Okay, my bad.
So they've won even up to now. They've won the last 4 gold medals.
Yeah, so it was 2014. I think was the second. So what's that? 10, 14, 18, 22. Yeah. So yeah.
No, I'm playing some club hockey on Xbox tonight with a bunch of my Canadian buddies that just talk mad shit about Canada beating the U.S. and everything.
Oh, well, tell
when
them
it comes to hockey.
Tell them that the broke Americans beat the broke Canadians.
Yeah, the broke Americans fuck you up, dude.
Yes,
broke
absolutely.
Canadians can't touch broke Americans.
I'm going to let them know.
Come at me, eh?
I got a dude from Vancouver, a dude from Edmonton, a couple of dudes from Ontario.
We can talk about it.
Dude from Quebec.
Dude, and that's a huge rivalry, just hockey in general. Whether it's broke hockey or regular hockey, USA Canada, that's a huge fucking that's it's like funny, the Red Sox and the Yankees.
When the USA beat Canada at that tournament a couple of weeks back, the whole they had their flags at half mast. People were in depression. People committed suicide. Families were murdered. There was pandemonium. I made all that up, but it was fucking.
Dude,
I hope so.
What
If
else?
For real, and I'm laughing that much. Yeah.
What else does Canada have? All right, what else do they have?
Exactly.
They got
dude.
syrup and hockey.
But they cared so much about that loss, and when we lost in the finals, yeah, we cared, but we're like, all right, what's next? Like,
Yeah.
Canada fucking, they care so much, and then they all start talking shit to me right after, and I'm like, you're supposed to be blowing us out, and every year we're a little closer and a little closer to being just as damn good as you are.
Yeah.
So I was in.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I was going to say we got bronze in skateboarding. It's a separate thing altogether.
Skateboarding?
We're falling off. America got bronze in skateboarding, but that
Doesn't even make sense.
The joke is that's what happens when you only let people who pass drug tests.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that, man.
That makes sense.
Yeah, take pot off the illegal list, and yeah, we'll crush skateboarding again. Like
That'd be like having
keep all the other shit on the no list. Like just take pot off it.
That'd be like having a songwriting competition without heroin. In the 90s in Seattle.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Plot twist. Getting Hemingway.
Oh, shit, man.
How much does a Hemingway?
Wah, wah.
I'm a father, so I get it. Man, that whole being a dad thing's weird because I probably wouldn't have laughed at that shit in my 20s. But that was solid. I wasn't mad. It was beautiful execution. I liked it. I appreciate a good dad joke these days.
They just come out when you hit a certain age. It's uncontrollable, dude. And
Half
stupid
of my shit is puns. Half of my shit is puns. Instead of saying I stand behind that or idea or that person, I'll say I sit beside that. And watch people like put it together a sentence later. They're like, "Oh shit, he just said sit instead." Oh, fuck. And it's usually just for like a wry smile. It's not even for a giggle. But yeah, I'll say I rolled in instead of walked in for any reason. It's like it's in my vernacular now, just because I can't not do it. And then I watch people do the math when I'm just talking regular, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what'd I say? Which thing did you catch?" And oh, my bad. I am what I am, y'all. Now I just want to fight Canadians.
That's not going to be tough.
No, let's talk about it.
I'm just saying, if you were a foreign country that was thinking about invading the U.S., you'd either come through Canada or California because all those people are pussies.
Cold Mexico?
I don't know, man. I think like maybe those people way up north in Canada where they have absolutely nothing better to do. I think of the Rocky IV montage where he's just fucking running up the snowy mountain. I figured, what else is there to do up there, right?
Oh, they'll get away and they'll survive, but they're not going to put up a fight.
I was going to say that because I think about just the Appalachian people. I'm like, if in the deep woods of Alberta, like I guarantee you there's a whole subsect of human that would be terrifying to face on a battlefield.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some saber-toothed motherfuckers out there, I bet.
Well, we know the Canadian sniper that was part of the sniper team with the longest kill.
The longest kill shot on record in the entire world is a Canadian sniper.
And he's got he snuck the video of the guy getting dropped into his music video on YouTube. Come on. It's right at the end of his music, right at the end of it.
So this guy's second. He's former Canadian military,
15 years,
longest kill ever in history,
longest kill shot in the world on record.
No shit.
Yeah,
and now he's a country music artist.
Yeah. And,
no shit.
And he's one of the most handsome men you'll ever see.
Unbelievably handsome,
he's
dude.
So handsome. It's stupid.
Like you don't want to walk in
some for the rest of us.
Yeah, you don't want to walk in a room with him, dude, because you're fucked. No one's looking at you.
And he knows that he's really tall too. So every time we take a picture, I always stand up in my wheelchair. I'm sure you probably see me do that. But he'll like do a power stance to like come down a little bit. I'm like, stand the fuck up. Like, you see how stupid we look? Like,
yeah, but he's still
you're in like a full wedge. Like, stand up.
Yeah, no matter what he's doing and you're doing, it still looks like a kid and his dad holding hands in the park.
Yeah, Yeah, because he's like 6'6", 6'7". He's so pretty.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
his wife's a 13 too. Their kids are gonna freaking be some sort of new X gene thing. Meeting his parents was funny though. In Mexico, got to meet. They were like, "Oh, this is Dallas's parents." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm a big fan of your work." And they both, I don't know. That's what I don't know. How, that's what came out of my mouth. They were both like, "Oh, okay." Like it took him a second. Like, yeah, the kid, the tall guy, who does the shooting and the music. Yeah. Y'all mix well. I don't know. They're rather unassuming people too. Neither of them are tall or whatever.
I bet the mailman was tall.
Dude, no, I wouldn't say that about Dallas's mother. You're gonna get shot from Canada. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, don't say something about someone's mother who can kill you from really, really, really far away.
Yeah, put Ty's helmet on right now, all right?
That's probably great advice, dude.
Like, he doesn't have to be in the same county to kill you.
I wouldn't even hear the fucking report from the rifle, dude.
Nope. I would say someone would hear the echo after you hit the deck. Oh no, that's scary.
Yeah,
but yeah, he did. I love that he got that in the music video.
Yeah, and
that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The video's still up, so they haven't pulled it. So they haven't found it. If YouTube found it, they'd pull it down.
Well, I hope.
What's his name again? Because now I want to see this.
Dallas Alexander.
And what's the song?
Is it Adios Amigo?
Adios Amigo.
Adios Amigo. Because the song itself is about the shot.
Oh, okay. No shit.
And then Blame It On My Bloodline is oof, good song. If you like country music. But yeah, he's something else.
Good shit.
Yeah, we had him on 2 days after Trump got shot in the ear.
Oh shit.
Because we wanted to ask him some questions.
He was breaking down some shit. He was just like, "Oh yeah, no, there's no way on planet Earth the people in charge of things didn't know that was a possibility." Like,
further, he was like, for those people that think that it was on purpose, that having my training, I wouldn't be able to hit the dude in the ear on purpose from that far away.
Yeah.
Like you just can't shoot that fine of a fucking shot where people are like, "Oh, he did it on purpose to get attention."
Look, man, no matter where you stand in that political spectrum, and I don't, when I work, I try to look. I don't want to bring politics into this, but I don't give a shit who anybody is, man. Like, if you actually think something wasn't wrong with that this man could just get this kid, right, 20 years old, get on that fucking roof and do that. Right? Like, you got to think something, right? Like,
And when the head of the Secret Service comes out and says that the roof was too sloped, meanwhile there's people right behind him on a more sloped roof.
Right. Well, I think
come on.
The Secret Service agent who shot him was on an even more sloped roof.
That's what I'm saying.
Make it make sense.
Like, come
on,
at least
lie to me good. At least try to lie to me good. Like this is the shit. Ugh, you're smearing shit on bread and trying to tell me it's peanut butter. I hate you.
And how big would anybody get? Like, you know what would? Like, let's just say it's staged. Just think of how a conversation would go like that. You know what would really make America love you? If we just try to assassinate you. All right, we do that, but don't. Just a little bit. Yeah, right.
just kind of shot.
Turn your head at the right time, and this kid with a red dot sight who's only 20 years old and has barely shot a gun is going to hit you right in the ear, but it's not actually going to hurt you much.
Yeah, he ain't some trained guy who knows what he's doing, and he didn't even have a good sight.
And I
hate my heart.
Oh man, it just the social media accounts wipe. I want to know something about this kid. Like, give me something, anything. Like, don't get me going, man. I'll shut me the fuck up.
Well, dude, the fact that here we are this far along and we've heard nothing about it. No. Like even the idea that they went to his house and all of his silverware was gone, like little weird details that you're like,
pieces of silver.
Like, that's
like
odd.
What the fuck? Yeah,
Judas.
But you have nothing more than what you gave us on that whole situation. Come on, man.
I just accidentally made a biblical reference. I'm proud of me. Sorry. I said 30 pieces of silver. Bam.
Oh,
sorry. He's like, oh shit, I heard it.
I wish I heard it the first time. Yeah.
We're knocking on an hour, boys.
Oh shit.
All right, so back to my shit. All right, go ahead, dude.
No, I was gonna say, do you finish? You want to finish up anything?
Yeah. I'll keep going, man.
Come
the
on.
whole thing, like why I'm a speaker and all this shit, man. Like, I lost my leg. That's not, this ain't a pissing contest or anything like that. But like more shit happens. You think, oh man, the worst that my life is done. I handled it well. Life is good. And then, 2 years later, after losing my leg, I'm back in Pennsylvania. The girl I'm dating, we're getting ready for this black tie event. It's a week before Christmas in 2010. I get out of the shower. I put my suit pants on and a t-shirt. Before I get fully dressed, I'm in front of the mirror doing my hair. All of a sudden, my phone rings. I let it go to voicemail. I finish doing the hair, wash the hair gel out of my hands, pick up my phone, see there's a voicemail, listen to the voicemail. It's my mom. She's like, call me immediately. Like, wow, what the fuck's that about, right? So I give her a buzz back. She's hysterical on the other end. And I'm like, Mom, calm down. What's going on? She won't stop apologizing. Earl, I'm so sorry. Mom, deep breath. What's up? While on active duty, my twin brother, Staff Sergeant Joe Granville, takes his own life.
Wow. Holy fuck.
Worst day of my life, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Like, how do I get this second chance at life? And have my own twin brother take his away. Like, little things that I look back and I notice. The first thing Joe said to me when I was still at ICU at Walter Reed, Tyler, you could probably relate to this. Looks like I lost 80 pounds. My skin's this tiny tint of orange. Limbs coming out. I got wound vacs coming out of all what's left of my left leg and my right leg. And, I'm like, hey, what's up? Just trying to be a goofball. And Joe just says to me, I should have just gone with you. You got to remember, too, I volunteered for that deployment. And Joe stayed back because he just got married and he wanted to start a family. And that was his priority. So Joe asked me, hey, man, how about we both stay back and we go when we have no choice to go? Like, we just re-upped our contracts before we left Iraq. Like, we were going to go again. But I was like, nah, dude, sorry. I'm going to Afghanistan with the 103rd. So, like, my mindset after Joe passed away went right back to being a victim, feeling sorry for myself. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't being a victim. I went right back, when I first joined the military, I made it about me. Like, what can I get out of this, right? Like, hey, free education. I really don't care about serving my country in an honorable way, but, that obviously changed because of going to combat. But
absolutely,
it went right back to making it all about me, playing the victim, feeling sorry for myself, thinking the world owes me everything. And let me ask you guys something. Where does playing a victim get you in life?
It gets you. You are the victim. Like, you succeed in being the victim, and then you get to be a victim.
Exactly. Nothing.
I choose to be a victor in this life. Damn it.
Exactly, my man. It's funny. It's not. There's no real message in this movie, but it's a comedy. It didn't even do well. But you ever see the movie Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right in the beginning of the movie when he's first fighting his stepdad. And he throws a medicine ball at him, and he's like, never sneak up on a man who's in a chemical fire, right? And then they start duking it out, right? And he said something, and I'll never forget. He said something when he was fighting his son, his stepson. Play the victim, and you'll be the victim. And you know what, man? For that stupid fucking movie, the movie where he's falling down the cliff for like 5 minutes, right? That little moment right there, play the victim, you'll be a victim. I never heard that before, and I'm like, I
have two. I have two that are in this same bag. I have tattooed on my wrist the number 32 because rule number 32 from Zombieland is enjoy the little things. And it's just because he has the do cardio and stretch and all these things, the rules of survival. And then he's like, oh yeah, letting off some steam is important. Rule number 32, enjoy the little things. So I have it to remind myself about that. And then another one that I refuse to not say to people is don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out alive. And that is from
Van Wilder, right?
Van Wilder.
Yeah, no shit.
And that is that and the rocking chair thing, but that's older than Van Wilder. But the worrying's like a rocking chair, gives you something to do, but doesn't get you anywhere. Like, these are solid quips, damn it.
Dude, wasn't Hot Rod the movie that had the scene where they went cool beans, cool beans, cool beans, where they got in that
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Dude, that movie's great, actually.
Underrated, fucking underrated.
Very underrated.
Oh,
Very
such a
underrated.
good flick.
Not unrelated, really, but I'm excited that Andy Samberg. I like watching dudes who I already respect for their craft, either receiving their flowers or stretching after a long time of doing almost the same thing. He did a movie recently, and I can't think of the freaking title right now, but he played a Jewish photographer that really existed with Kate Winslet in a war photographer, and his first ever serious role. Yeah, he's looking it up. But Kate Winslet convinced him to do it. He was like, I won't do this guy justice. It's me. And so he went in with all of that and did a serious role and knocked it out of the damn park. Eddie
What's it
Murphy
called?
did the same. You found the name?
No,
Oh,
I stopped looking. I was
My
listening.
bad. Eddie Murphy did the same thing with Mr. Church. He'd been in the game forever. That movie's only like, at this point, it would have been like 17 or 18 probably. But it's 100% serious Eddie Murphy movie where he doesn't even laugh once.
Wow.
Like, and it's good. Mr.
You know
Church
what?
is amazing.
I got one of those, Charlie Day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Horrible Bosses. He's always just playing this strung out goofball, right?
Yeah.
did you ever see Hotel Artemis?
I've heard of it. I have not watched it.
Dude, he plays a bad guy in that, and I didn't even know he was in it. And I was like, is that fucking Charlie Day? And he killed it. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, man, like you said, his craft is this side, but let's jump over here. And you're like, damn, mad respect.
Absolutely.
What's funny is that a lot of comedic actors have that one or two movies. You know what I'm saying? Jim Carrey had one or two where he was very serious. Adam Sandler had a couple where he was serious. The funny part is watching somebody try to flip into a role that, like Will Ferrell will forever be Will Ferrell in movies. Yeah, I've never seen that.
It's newer.
Okay.
Will Ferrell will never be
Sorry, Will Ferrell.
No, but a better example is David Schwimmer when he was some type of boot camp sergeant or something in Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm like, I couldn't stop. It was just
you
fucking.
You can't take him seriously, right?
No, you're just Ross, dude. You're Ross forever.
Oh yeah.
You're fucked.
And then you got some people who can just be an absolute chameleon and they make every movie better. Like Giovanni Ribisi comes to mind immediately.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he can be the main guy if you needed him to be. But Scott Grimes is another one. He always works with Seth MacFarlane.
Sam Rockwell.
Yes, Sam Rockwell for sure. He can be a leading man or
Paul
just make it
Giamatti.
better. Yep.
There's a bunch of those guys.
Lee Morse is another one. Or sorry, not David Morse. The Brutal from The Green Mile. That guy.
Oh shit. They were going
That
way
particular
back.
actor.
Yeah.
How you doing,
Fantastic.
boss?
Yeah, the guy who played the bigger guard.
So
Anyway, sorry.
I got to do justice in what I do and what I talk about. I know
Yes,
we're getting
please.
late here, so I don't want to
fine.
hold you guys up, man. But I got to tell you, man, one of the biggest things that helped me get through all that bullshit, man. One of the things we talk about, and look, man, I know you heard it, Tyler. Like when it comes to mental health in the military, it's always where society looks at it. They think everything is related to post-traumatic stress, right? Like it's, and I would never deny it, like saying that post-traumatic stress isn't real, and I would never belittle somebody who had it. But I think where society doesn't want to, like they want to backtrack where they fucked up 50 years ago in the Vietnam era. I think like they want to make sure everybody is helped in this generation, or maybe we can all are past the generation before us, like our generation, Tyler. And it's, but I think it's where we've heard that word so much, post-traumatic stress, mental health, when it comes to military. It's like, I think people think they have PTSD just because it's out there so much at the time for like 10 years. Does that make sense? Like, because society's just like, oh, you're having a bad day and you were in Iraq? Well, it must be your PTSD. And it's like, all of a sudden everybody's a doctor. Does that make sense?
It's just like the TikTok diagnoses. Yeah, I have a hard time focusing. I have ADD. I know what I am.
Exactly.
And I'm
Same
like,
thing.
no.
Yep.
Oh, I'm autistic. I'm like, no.
100%. I'm with you, dude. And I think society, like, I've heard the term, like, we don't help our troops enough. And I got to tell you something, man. If
There's
you
a
sat
lot
down,
of help out there for troops.
if you sit down, give yourself 90 seconds and write down every damn charity, nonprofit that you could think of that works with the military. In those 90 seconds, I want you to look down at everything you wrote, right? And when did that charity come out? I guarantee it, 95% of what you wrote down was developed after 9/11. And that's not government, like government help. That's everyday human beings in society
Saw
that
a
just
need,
want
filled
to
a
help.
need. Yeah.
You know, and I love it. It's such an awesome thing. Like, I help run 2 charities. I have one right here in my glass, Operation Enduring Warrior. We help keep wounded and disabled veterans active, right? Another one's the Oscar Mike Foundation. Very similar to OEW. It's like everybody has their niche, right? And for me, it's being in the gym and being active, shit like that, right? It's what kind of helped me get over losing my brother and shit like that. Like getting involved in CrossFit, finding a community once again, like, because that Uncle Rico bullshit I was pulling for a little while wasn't going to get you anywhere. And I think you know what I'm talking about, dude. Just that, like, living in the past. Like,
we talk about it a lot. The disgruntled veterans who are proud of their dysfunction because I did this for my country, so I'm going to be like this, and you're going to deal with it. No, the the country, government aside, whatever, the country itself, the people support the shit out of veterans in a huge way. And like you said, there's 100 different facets that you can get to. Hell, we talked to a woman who literally has her charity. It helps people in rural areas get the stuff because that's harder to do in the rural areas. So that's all right,
Ty. That's a hard word.
Rural?
You said rural areas.
Rural
areas, like rural.
There's only 2 R's in that word.
Yeah, rural
areas.
Rural space areas. But anyways, I'm just saying.
Well,
the problem is vets' mentality for the most part. And most vets aren't ready to have that conversation. They're not ready to say, they don't want to be all good with their service or their combat or whatever it was, or whatever they've potentially lied to people that they did. They don't want it to be good because that's what gets them the attention. So, like, my service won't count if people don't give me attention or something. It's service. It's not for you. It's for them. Yep. Like, I'm giving you, at this point, life and limb for you. And I hope that y'all did good things with it. Like, it's not up to me. And vets need to have that conversation with themselves. They need to look in the mirror and realize that being okay with it doesn't mean you didn't do it.
There's a name I'm not gonna mention right here. I'm not gonna say his name, but I know
Voldemort.
There's a gentleman at Walter Reed when we were there, Tyler, and I'm not gonna say his name because I choose not to. You are living up. You know what? We'll talk about that offline. But
I probably know who you're talking about.
The forever wounded warrior. They just live on that. They just live on take. And look, man, like, I don't want to be on my deathbed and somebody say, so what'd you do in your life? Oh, I was in Iraq. Yeah, man. I'm like, okay,
when
cool.
I was 20.
But what did you do after that?
I made millions of people smile. I hope by the time I finally bite it, when they finally figure out how to finish me off or whatever, that it's in the millions. I hope I'm brightened millions of days. Like that's the goal at the end. Raised 2 stellar kids, fingers crossed, brightened millions of days.
And there you go, right there. You said the word goal right there. Right there. You know, right there. Like, what else are you doing with your life? My man, you're like, and it doesn't have to be some big articulate thing of like, I want to, be president or some bullshit like that. No, it could be as simple as that, my man. You're nailing it. You're nailing it.
Joy.
I've seen so many people where they just their rest of their life is being the wounded veteran. And I'm only saying that because when my brother died, 2011, that was me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, and I had to figure that shit out.
I know you spiraled down the if I just didn't deploy, I wouldn't have got hurt, and then he wouldn't have felt like he left. I know you went down that damn road where it was 1,000% your fault, and I love that you started that conversation with, I had to get my head out of my ass because it wasn't about me, damn it. And I'm proud of you for the work you've done.
Well, I appreciate that, dude. I mean, it's like I'm getting in front of those audiences, or it's or even like on the charity side of things. Like I get up there and I discuss the op order of what we're doing. Yes, because we type out op orders in one of these charities I run. But it's like I'm doing this in honor of my brother. Yeah. That's as more, and even I'll even throw in there Derek and Scott. Every time I speak, I talk about Derek and Scott briefly because the last voice they heard was my dumbass saying, "Oh, this looks like Pennsylvania." Boom, like that sits with me for a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's just out of respect for.
It's not funny, but you make it funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say like,
but out of respect for them, man. Out of respect, I have to say their names. Yeah. All those guys I talked about earlier. It's like what. Look, man, I'm still fucking here, man. And if anything, it
says, for the fallen I live. And I have several 13s throughout my person as well, which is how many we lost. Sorry, but wow. You always say their name out loud.
Absolutely. It's important. I really do. And it's not just for me, but the families as well,
Talking about
but
goals. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
100%. No, you're good, dude. You're good. But, I found this huge passion in physical fitness, man. That was like big on me. And then this led me to run a Spartan race, right? And my first ever Spartan race, there's these men and women in these multicam looking uniforms, and just observe them. One comes up with his hand out and he's like, "Hey, are you Earl?" I look at this gentleman. I know who this person is. His name is Noah Galloway. If you guys don't know who Noah is, Noah served in the 101st Airborne. His vehicle hit a roadside bomb, I believe outside of Baghdad. Noah, his injuries consisted of losing his left leg through the knee, which is how my leg amputation is, and he lost his left arm above the elbow.
Yeah, like the deltoid.
Yeah, just like yours.
Pretty high. He was on Dancing with the Stars as well.
Exactly. Yep. Dancing with the Stars, the cover of Men's Health magazine. This guy's a fucking I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And he's shaking my hand right now, and I'm like, holy fuck. So I fangirl a little bit. I ripped down my Noah Galloway poster so I don't make it weird, right? And I was like, dude, what's with the uniform? We're an organization called Operation Enduring Warrior. Here's what we do. We help disabled veterans stay active, right? Do you want to come join us today on the race? I'm like, fuck yeah, I would. So we go in a little secluded area before I hit the starting line. Somebody says a prayer, get in a circle. They have a little salt pack on. Out of their salt pack, they take out a gas mask and they don it. It's August.
They do it
in Virginia. It's fucking hot, and I'm like, I don't have to do that, do I? Right? But we do this race. Ugh. They asked me, what do I think about joining their organization as a team member, like getting a gas mask? And I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm ready for something like that. But tell you what, man, if I was a big Chicago Bulls fan and I'm playing a random pickup game somewhere and Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman come up and they say, hey, you want to be on the same team? You don't turn that shit down. Like this man, Noah, asking me to join, yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. So
yeah.
I went down right outside of Fort Bragg, North Carolina the next year. Myself and 9 other individuals, we went down there. And for over 24 hours straight, the rest of those team members there were put us through evolution after evolution after evolution. See how we work as a team, what our individual physical capabilities are, and how we handle ourselves under pressure. Sounds a lot like the military. Woo. After those 24 hours, only five of us were there. Right. And I was one of them. I got my mask, I got my uniform, and I got that purpose once again, man. And just like that Iraq deployment, I realized this isn't about me. It's about us.
Especially those. You can't finish one of them races how they do it. Y'all carried some shit, right?
It depends on what we're doing.
I know at one point someone was carrying Todd Love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you guys out there, Todd Love, he's a Marine.
He's a very triple amputee. He's way more of a triple amputee than me.
Todd he's a double hip dysartec, which
he's got a pelvis and a torso, 0 femurs, and then one arm, mid forearm.
Yep.
And so he's been carried through these kinds of races as a backpack. He's also done it himself, scooting on his butt with in a leather diaper with a gas mask on. Yeah, sorry, he's a badass, and I wanted to.
Rock star status, man. Fucking rock star status.
Yeah,
dude,
he was a recon Marine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good guy, man. But
sorry,
and joining OEW, and here I am leading once again, just like in Iraq. I mean, not just like Iraq, but it's like it's a culture I'm familiar with. It's full of a lot of purpose, trying to make people's lives better, right? And I realized something like in doing physical fitness stuff, something I really missed, and also realized I could still do this shit with a prosthetic leg. Does that make sense? Like I don't need to go to combat anymore, any of that garbage, but actually getting out there, running races and being active, stuff that I missed in the military, like I'm just doing it here with a big purpose in life. And I think every human being out there, ladies and gentlemen, you need 3 P's to survive, to live a healthy, happy life. You must have a purpose, you must have a passion, and you must be part of something bigger than yourself. And the recipe to find those 3 P's, a good attitude, stepping out of your comfort zone, and what's most important, fucking community. You need a community. Tyler, I think I saw you a few years ago at the Reverend Warriors event in Jack's Beach. Right? Yeah. Community right there.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was joking with somebody. I don't know most of those people from Adam. There's you and a handful of people was kind of it as far as the people I actually knew. But it was immediate with the oh my God, you need a crayon? And I'm like, not that joke. Go with a different joke. And they're like, oh shit, no legs, man. And it just cutting into me immediately with that stuff. And I'm like, cool. Because I hate making a joke, and then someone no, you shouldn't say that about yourself. Right. And I'd be like, eat a whole bag of dicks. I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Stop being so look, man, you can pick on yourself, right? Don't tell me I can't laugh at myself.
I'm allowed to do. Don't tell me what I'm allowed to do to me. I'm in charge of this shit.
We're damn near 50 episodes into a podcast of laughing at trauma. I mean, I think a lot of people find that, for lack of a better term, Ty, disarms.
It's very much so. It's dark humor is disarming, and I use that particular word. There's other words that probably mean disarming. It's got synonyms, I imagine, but no, I make sure I use the word disarming because it snowballs into some bullshit, and then you get giggling, and then you feel better, and I helped. All because I said it the way I said it. They see me rolling. They hate it.
I'm telling you, man, and what a healthy community could do for you, man. Anybody out there watching, man? I know we're cracking jokes, we're laughing, which is good. It's what we're supposed to be friggin' doing. We hope you're entertained out there, but it's like the movies we talked about earlier. Sometimes there's those little messages that hang on to, and this is what I want to give you guys out there is, look, man, the power of what community could do. And I'd imagine with the nature of this podcast, we get a lot of military and veterans out there, man. When you take that uniform off, you got to find something else. Because if you sit there and just Uncle Rico that shit, you're going to regret it. You got to find something else, ladies and gentlemen.
That's almost always what we land on. We always come back to purpose. Anytime we get into the what will be the best thing for someone transitioning out of military service. And that is it, man, because you're not ready for the culture shock of no one's on your team anymore. You had anywhere from 30 to, depending on your unit, 100, whatever, guys who, if you needed them, would be right there to do whatever it was. And if y'all were working, that's all of them working to achieve the same exact goal. Now you're here and you got to drive to the store, and everyone is only worried about their point B. No one gives a flying fuck about you and where you're heading. And that is the culture shock that no one ends up being ready for. They joke about it. Ha, I want to get out. This shit sucks, whatever it is. And they don't make a fucking plan either. So make a fucking plan before you get out. But also, find the community and purpose for sure.
Well, you can connect. I think it's important to say that you can connect all those things that you're saying to the civilians too. I mean, for someone like me who deals with depression for the last decade plus, 20 years maybe. It's a similar transition for me in a way. Like I am searching for purpose often. You know what I mean? And I realize that for me to heal and get better, I have to find what that is. So it can relate to the people that are watching that aren't military as well.
100%. That is a
Zach,
note, because it's not specifically for veterans. It's just something veterans have a problem with. Bad, but everyone having a purpose is essential. Like he said, the 3 Ps that he said are absolutely essential to you doing something, like just achieving anything, really.
Community builds connection, and connection can bring purpose.
Word.
Right? You know, the shit. You heard me say it before. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us, and that's where this kind of comes into play, man. Like where Cindy comes into play here. Like the Oscar Mike Foundation will carry this along with us in our Spartan races or whatever it may be. And the idea of Cindy is like all that she represents, all that shit that you hold up in here that holds you down and stops you from enjoying life. I'll start off with this. She gets pretty damn heavy after a little while, but luckily I have a team or a community with me. So I'm not carrying this alone. We carry it together. Yeah, it's a reminder up in here, the bullshit that we carry, we don't have to carry it by ourselves. That's the power of what community can do. Community will build that connection, and connection could find you purpose. Now, you're carrying that weight? Absolutely. Somebody can help you carry it for you. That's also your job to reach out to somebody else. And it doesn't have to be a therapy session. It could be as simple as day. It's not like, you want to talk about it? Dude, if somebody came up to me like that, I was like, get the fuck away from me, right? But it's like, we know each other better than anybody, I feel like, when we build those connections. Feelings. It's like, dude, what's going on? It can be that fucking simple, right?
Speak.
That's the power of what community can do and connection.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah,
makes
absolutely.
a lot of sense. I love
awesome.
it.
100%.
It relates to, like, I'm not a religious person, but one thing that I've always said that religion does well is the community. And I think it's something that in society in general, not just veterans, but in society, just regular civilians are lacking community.
Feeling alone is the shittiest feeling ever. And a lot of people are probably feeling that, especially with everything being so connected via internet and social media and everything else.
Yep.
You feel very separated from humanity. And I would just, put it down. Go talk to neighbors. Go to a bowling league. Go find something that you can do. Some sort of hobby. Go to Barnes & Noble to read your book instead of sit there and do it. You might end up having a coffee with make a friend. I don't fucking know. You're
absolutely right, dude. I mean, you say I don't fucking know, but it could be that simple, right? No, you're absolutely right, dude. You know, human beings, we're not meant to, the whole COVID shit,
Social
man, to
creature.
isolate like that, like COVID, like garbage. That's when mental health went on decline. I would rather risk possibly getting COVID than just sitting there in a box saying, no, you better wear that mask if you go out there. Does that make sense?
That's why I like Florida.
Human beings, we thrive on that, man.
That's why I like Florida, man. We were only closed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You guys did it right.
Y'all keep talking about the lockdown and, oh my God, it was terrible. And I'm like, I don't remember it very well because it was literally not that long. Like, I don't think it was a month here.
No. I was in Orlando at the time.
Yeah, I was going to say a month maybe. And then
I moved to Orlando the weekend before everything got locked down.
COVID got COVIDed up.
Like, I'm taking a step into a new life. I moved to a new city where I don't know anybody with a backpack and a guitar. And then a week later, the whole fucking shit gets locked down.
Yeah.
Man,
it's my fault.
I was in Pennsylvania running for Congress. And let me tell you, during COVID, that shit sucked.
I was going to say.
Let's say my campaign went to shit.
I was going to say, was running for Congress made into a joke more than once? Because that'd be funny. Like,
didn't even think about that.
All my signs would say rolling for Congress for sure. Just to add that razzle dazzle.
It was a very, very interesting time in my life. I'll put it that way. And look, I was asked many times. That was my first election cycle that I was asked to run. But that third time, I finally gave it a shot, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if this is fully for me. If I had to do it again, much smaller, state, local, county, but federal, big like that, I'm like, it's more of a celebrity status than anything, and I'm like, nah,
I can't do it.
That's not for me, man. That's not for me.
If I was to do it again, I'd do it much smaller. I walked in, I was like, wow, this is much smaller.
But to do that shit during COVID though was miserable. It sucked. You know, I make a living talking, and I couldn't do that. So like, I'm not going to win this. So I think it was a blessing though. But anyway, enough of that shit. Look, gentlemen, I really appreciate your time.
I was gonna say, do you have any saved rounds? Anything you wanted to get into that you didn't? Which is, I doubt it, because you've been talking for fucking hour and a half.
I think I'm good. It's just like, look, just to reiterate what I said, man, those 3 Ps: have a purpose, develop a passion, be a part of something bigger than yourself. And the recipe to find those: a good attitude, step out of your comfort zone, and what I feel is most important, community. Look at that. I'm about to flip you off an accident.
Community.
Like fucking community.
Yeah.
Goddamn community.
It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us.
Us and the we of it all. All right. And then, so do you have anything that you'd like to plug, or any events or anything that we would be able to shout out for you? Or how to get a hold of the charities or you, any of that stuff?
Tell you what, if you want to check out any military or law enforcement, we work with law enforcement as well. Check us out at enduringwarrior.org. That's for Operation Enduring Warrior. Our mission is to honor, empower, and motivate our wounded and disabled veterans and law enforcement, live an active lifestyle, not let their injuries define them. They're going to find themselves. The Oscar Mike Foundation. Check us out at oscarmike.org. Run it's similar mission, but run very differently. All right. And, you know what? Something I just started getting into, a little yoga, breathing techniques. I didn't realize how important that could be for health and wellness. Check out
grounding exercises are essential, and you have to figure out what grounding exercises work for you. And yoga is one of them that people won't try because they're like, it's yoga. And I'm just
crunchy feely, right? You know, like, but man, I gotta tell you, man, that shit's fucking hard. Like, give me a barbell. I would give you the barbell or some dumbbells, but man, doing like yoga is not as easy as you think it is, but it does help. The breathing techniques as well. Check out Warrior Strong Incorporated. That's warriorstronginc.org. They actually we're located in northeastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. However, we do a lot of events virtually. Whether it's we're doing yoga, breathing techniques, we have professionals come in and work with this. So a lot of our stuff you could do just like I said, right on your phone. And hey, it's another sense of community, right? If anybody out there have any questions about any of these charities, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is right there in my name, Earl Granville, or even my webpage, earlgranville.org. You know, speaking is one thing, but these charities, I love to get out there. Like, all these are volunteer. And, you know, sometimes I look at the people we work with that run these charities. I feel sometimes we get such more out of this than the people we help sometimes, because it is that purpose once again, and building these communities. So come check us out, man. Like,
heck yeah,
great people, man, good community. But gentlemen,
thank you so much, man. Thank you for coming on. We'll have to get you back on at some point down the line. I also extend this to everybody. If something comes up, you have an event or anything going on that you need us to share, shout it out. You can come back on at some point and do that, or you can just tell us to mention it on the show or whatever.
We'll yell it from the Slapper Mountaintop. Yeah,
we got your back. So thank you so much, though, man. Thank you, Ty. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. We are glad you're still fucking here.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for what you guys are doing, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to.